Good morning, friends. Steve here. At least I think I'm Steve. I was told that I was Steve as a child, and I bought into the program. And ever since then, I've been Steve. I, I might be an honest noon and not know it because nobody told me. Even my guides haven't ever said you're an honest noon, whatever that means. I feel that it's useful to have a sense of humor. There's times, I felt like I really triggered the family, my siblings and their relations and all the people that showed up. I think it was at my mother's funeral. And my mother and I had cleared everything up before she left. And so there was no, I knew she was older, and then, things were completing, and she completed them. And I didn't feel much of a loss as we both felt complete in our relationship. So sometimes you've completed the relationship and then the person leaves and you're done. And so that was the case with her. But the month before she passed away, I had gotten married after completing a 22-year marriage. I took some time off and then got in relationship with a woman who I knew whose husband had passed away a year or more prior to us coming together. And that was 20, and then we ended up getting married. So it was a woman and her 4 children. And we have been together for 20 years. So I want you to know that things are good between us. We keep coming to a new level of relationship, a new level of clarity within ourselves that increases um, the space in which we can hold for each other as people and as a couple. Looks like the video's kind of going in and out, but I don't really care. But anyway, I just didn't have a plan for saying that, but I wanted to say that in case anyone gets nervous about what I have written that I'm going to read about relationships. So I don't want people going like, oh no, Steve and what's her name? And I'm not supposed to mention her name necessarily. Um, because she just doesn't want to be out there in the world. And I am out there in the world. I'm out there in many ways. So anyway, she won't be mentioned other than as my co-housing unit or my life partner or however we want to frame it. Many different ways to frame it. But our 20-year anniversary is coming up like Monday, I think. And I have my page open to my tarot card book page is open to the card that was pulled today, not in relationship to our relationship, but in relationship to the world and relationships. And it's the Lover's card. And it looks like this. So because there's so much going on in the world and because I'm trying, as I think what's his name said to Luke Skywalker. No try, do. There's only doing or not doing. So when I say that I'm trying to make my videos a little shorter so that they can upload a little faster or in less time, they all don't upload faster, they upload through telephone wires. So you can imagine it's like, yes, a word and image is being transferred to space, where it ends up in a space called YouTube. Where does YouTube exist? Well, here it's one place. It exists here because somebody made up YouTube, and then people used it, and then people got used to it and made up that YouTube exists. But where does YouTube exist? Nobody's ever asked. Like someplace out there. And I hit upload, and whoosh, up it goes. But maybe not whoosh up it goes, but climb my, my internet is like climbing a mountain to the satellite at the top of the mountain to get my words and my images slowly out to the people that don't care about them. There are other people that do care. I know there's some of you that actually care, and there's some of you that actually write ways in which these videos help you. That's good feedback. It doesn't take a long time. I mean, you can't imagine how long it takes me to actually write out these tarot card readings and these Mayan card readings. I used to just ad lib it, but I just kept making them longer and longer, like this one, and making longer, even though I spent a whole bunch of time to make it shorter by writing everything out so I could just read it. And we are interesting characters in an interesting world. Some of us have just hair sticking up and all sorts of other things. We won't point them all out. You can notice them yourself. Okay. This was a difficult day to start. Just the energies were just really, and yesterday was like, everything is beautiful. Ah, I'm sitting on top of the energetic world. And today was like, oh, what happened? Well, more stuff came to the surface to be released and integrated. So I've spent my time doing that partway through. That sounds funny, partway through. Partly as a result of the tarot reading and the Mayan Calendar reading that helped me integrate some of these energies, and then writing really helped me integrate these energies. And then I felt like I'm in a good place. And now that's a good time to write about the things that I write about, which maybe it's maybe a good enough place, but it was maybe like uncomfortable things that I'm going to talk about, that I wrote about, and then give solutions for how to work with it. I got a lot of tension in the lower part of my neck. And we can just release our tension and just let it go. Let's see, how long did it take me? I 9 minutes to just say how much time I've spent trying to make these videos shorter, and I spent 9 minutes explaining it. Might be entertaining for some people. I might put in the description, start at the 10-minute mark. The rest of it is just hooey. But I like hooey and Dewey and Louie. So, okay, I'm ready to set up a healing field. So, you can state these things out loud if you want to. And if you don't, fine with me. But if you want to have a better experience while working with a healing field, state these things out loud. I connect to my deep self. I connect to my higher self. When I connect to my highest self, I ground myself to the healing center of the earth. I just go all the way down into the healing center of the earth and connect to that healing energy at the center of the earth. And I open myself to the healing power of the One. I know it seems the same as our highest self, and it is, because our highest self and the One are one. That's why it's called the One. That's why you and I are one, in that we're individuations of the One. And the One is not necessarily the one that you were given through your parents' religion. The One is not that. The One is everything. And the one that you've been given that might be ready to smote you is maybe contained within the One, but is not the One. The smoter is just an aspect of the greater reality of the all that is, that we can more and more connect to as we choose to connect by stating out loud, connect to my deep self, connect to my higher self, connect to my highest self. I ground myself to the healing center of the earth. That connects you more to the earth. I open myself to the healing power of the One. That connects you more to the oneness. I choose to let go of anything not useful to me now, and I choose to work with the seventh dimensional beings, the Hathors. So those are the words that you can say. The next words I can say, you can say them if you want, but I'm going to go a little steadier with it. I ask the higher self to take us through the portal of time to the event that would be of the highest good, release and integrate at this time. And I invite all souls to return to the event, to release and integrate the energy of the event for themselves. And I ask that we all be placed in a field of protection while we do this work. And upon arrival at the event, I ask the higher self to assist us to release and integrate all energies of the event, gently and easily, fully and completely, on all levels and through all space and time. Healing event is set up. Now we're just going to release, have the space of the One, to release and integrate all the energies that we feel come up for us while we're clearing this healing field that is useful for us to release and integrate the energies of, and also for the world. That's why we're doing it with a large body of souls who are all doing the same thing. Their souls in bodies somewhere on the planet, but the soul isn't limited to the thoughts of the body. So when the soul hears a call, oh, there's an event that you may want to attend, where we're going to be releasing and integrating the stuck energies of that event, then the soul hears that. And if it accepts that invitation, if it's the right thing for the soul to do, the soul actually leaves the body. It doesn't disconnect from the body, but the soul leaves the body, goes back to this event to release and integrate the energies that were left unresolved. That takes place over a period of a certain amount of time, and then the soul collects that part of the soul that was sitting back there at the event waiting for it to be resolved, it's already resolved it, but it was waiting for that part of our soul that needed to go back and resolve it. Then they combine, they come back in the body, and then new energies come in through us after that's released. That's a little description, and just adding another minute or two to the length of the video and the length of time it takes to upload, which even explaining that is leading to it being longer. So I'm going to read. I'm going to read what I wrote this morning, and people have been actually sending me some good feedback on it. So that's great. They like being able to read it, then they like being able to watch it, and then go back and read it. So here I'm just going to switch it over. Won't look any different for you, but it looks a little different for me. And so, if I didn't say this at the beginning of this video, I'll say it again because it's written here. Hello, friends. I hope you are doing all right during these times of rapid change. Some people enjoy change. Others prefer that things stay the same. And in times of seemingly rapid changes from the way things were, we're often drawn to memories of the past when things seemed better, at least in our memory. And it is all about memory, isn't it? We might have had an intense, passionate love relationship with another. And in the beginning, and I'm going to work with some energies that don't have to do with the relationship I'm in, that I know of, but it has to do with maybe some release of some other relationships of the past that the energy hasn't fully released. So I'm going to use that in this video as an opportunity for me to release those energies. Hopefully I won't be sobbing, but if I am, so be it. So we might have had an intense, passionate love relationship with another, and in the beginning it seemed so right. There were different sorts of energy moving between us. We seemed on the same page. Then something happened. It might have begun with some slight triggering. And then eventually, one of us or both of us began to be more triggered more often. So we withdrew our energy, held in our care, and eventually just did the best we could to tolerate being in relationship. This story is all too frequently experienced by many couples around the world. Somehow, love was lost, misplaced, or damaged beyond repair. Most everyone starts out thinking that this relationship will always feel this good. It may be true, or just one perspective. Oh, and this is separate. So most everyone starts out thinking that this relationship will always feel this good. And then, period. And then another thought starts. It may be true, or just one perspective, that we live in a damaged world. It's been said in the past that the only thing needed when the country was faltering was a good old war. It takes people's attention off what is wrong in their own personal world. Mostly it has to do with the feeling of not enough. Not enough love, attention, kindness, food, time off, socializing. Many people are not at peace, may be unhappy or exhausted from their job, and possibly a lack of appreciation. Trust in governments around the world seems to be at an all-time low. His story, or the history of this planet, seems to be one of war, famine, pestilence, violence, and hypocrisy. Wow. Are we feeling bad enough yet? My friends, the whole world has been in a war for our lifetimes and the lifetimes of our ancestors. In this country alone, immigrants from other countries arrived here, declared that this land is their land, proceeded to oust the inhabitants, brought the dysfunction of their ancestors here with them, then slaves, then cut down as many trees as they could make money cutting. And much of this has continued on and on to the point that the food has more chemicals than nutrients. It's run by mega corporations. And our food system is controlled by either Bill Gates or the Chinese as the two major owners of farmland in this country. Yikes. At any time, we could find ourselves without living resources. This seems to be a fact. We tend to not face facts and just hope that the future generations figure it out. That's what our ancestors did. They pushed it on us to make the changes, and here we are noticing that things are really effed up and in need of change. Where can that change start? It seems like too much. It seems like too much. Others control what happens. I can't change the world. You might be right. You might be wrong. You might be both. One thing I know in my bones is when I change, the world changes. And that's what I can do. The tarot card reading today started out with, what are we working with? And we got the Three of Discs. That we're working with getting clear on our priorities and commitments. And we're also working with the Ten of Swords, which is the fear of ruin. And we're concerned about either relationships or finances. You know, swords is mental mental concerns and receiving things in a particular way, are we going to have enough resources? Are we going to have enough food? Will I be able to, have toilet paper, whatever it is? And there seems to be, this isn't written, but I'm just going off page a minute. There seems to be a fair amount of concern about not being able to get things, much like happened in the initial period of what was called COVID, and where people were just stripping the shelves of toilet paper. That was one of the first things people got concerned with is, oh no, I won't be able to clean up. And so there's a little bit of that seemingly going on in the grocery stores on this small island. People are stocking up because you never know what's going to happen next. And we don't know. So that's the Ten of Swords, the fear of ruin, the concern about either relationships or finances. So then the question was asked, what might support us in working with our concerns? And we got the Star card, which is Major Arcana 17. And some of these words, as I wrote them, I said, okay, you can write these down, but you're going to need to possibly talk about them. So here's what I wrote down. The words, becoming more self-sufficient. So that's one thing that will support us working through our concerns. Just becoming more self-sufficient, whatever that means to you. And the next thing was learning to appreciate ourselves. And that's something that maybe many people don't think about. What do they appreciate about themselves? And then the Star card is also about releasing the voices of the past as critical, self-degrading, and non-supportive. The word confidence, it comes from the root word to confide. To confide in, to speak authentically to oneself. And acknowledge the things that you do that serve you and others. And also those things that no longer serve. Wrote a little personal piece here. One time after coming home with the best grades I had ever gotten, I wasn't a good student. I was smart enough, I just had trouble listening to stuff I didn't agree with and remembering it and being able to repeat it on tests. But I came home with the best grades I'd ever gotten. I got 5 A's and 1 B. And I was probably 15 years old at the time, and my father pointed to the B on the report card and asked, what can you do to bring that up? And at that time I asked him if I had ever done anything right. And he said, of course. And I asked him why he only pointed out my failures, what he perceived to be my failures. And he said, if you're doing it right, why would I need to point it out? It's one way of thinking. Just point out what a person's doing wrong. You're not necessarily going to help them with any type of self-esteem, because all they know is that what they do is wrong, what they do is wrong, what they do is wrong. And sometimes that can lead them to giving up. Like, we all would like, I think, I can say this, and it may be true, I think we would all like those parental units we would like to get some positive feedback from those parental root. I mean, they're always giving us looks and they're saying words and stuff, but we would like to get some feedback that we're doing it right. But if the person has the construct that if you're doing it right, why would I need to point it out? That lets you know what's going to be coming back to you. And there's two types of reinforcement, maybe more, but basically good job or wrong. Those are the polarities, like well done, poorly done. And then I wrote, it's what we focus on that can make a difference for ourselves and others. And can we take a moment and say to ourselves, you are doing your best. Just say that to yourself and just notice what you feel when you say that. And then say this to yourself, and I would suggest you say it out loud. I appreciate you. And notice how it feels, even if you're saying that to yourself. Notice how it feels. Who even knows who the I is that's saying, I appreciate you? But just let yourself feel it. You are doing your best. I appreciate you. Notice what you feel. I mean, I feel sadness, and and maybe it's helping to release that sadness of never really feeling that I got much, well, not ever feeling. I got lots of positive feedback for many of the things that I did outside of my home from others, from other mentors, teachers, people I was studying with. I got positive feedback from them. But this is I think, what would be referred to as an attachment disorder, where we didn't get the love, we didn't get the appreciation. Some people get too much and they just become not very useful in the world. But just when you need it and someone is there to hold you, to support you through a difficult, painful experience. So I'm just going ahead and I'm not going into details because I'm not getting details, but I'm allowing myself to feel painful, uncomfortable feelings where I didn't feel like I got support. And I am providing myself with some space and some support right in this moment so that I can release, integrate, digest, compost those old emotions and upgrade what was a trauma, upgrade it to being a life experience, and now be present with it in an integrated way. And we just do that over and over again. So please write in the comments section how it affected you when you told yourself that you are doing your best and that you appreciate you. When we hear in a reading, oh, the solution is that you need more self-esteem, confidence. And I wrote, where does this come from? How many times did we hear, well done? Can we begin to appreciate, have compassion for, and care for ourselves? When you just have the thought, I care for myself, what comes up for you? I care for myself. what comes up for you? Going back to the star card, in many religions, and I wrote, I'm not promoting religion here, or anywhere for that matters. The star symbol is the guiding light. In astrology, and here's for the person that asked me about Aquarius, this month and Aquarius. So in astrology, the star is Aquarius. The star Aquarius is the water bearer, the creative and innovative mind. The two seven-pointed stars symbolized on this card represent the radiance and confidence of our inherent light or life force that has every intention of actualizing creative ideas on earth through our own natural light. Philosopher Heidegger wrote, "A person is not a thing or a process, but an opening through which the absolute can manifest or will manifest." The star card reminds us that each of us is an opening for light. Each of us is an opening for light, or a gateway through which the absolute, oneness, source, all that is, will manifest. Then we come to the world card for today. And the world card for today is Major Arcana 6. It's called The Lovers. And it's about the principle of the art and craft of relationships. And it's really useful. It's a very cool, wet, gray day here in the Pacific Northwest. And for you in the Pacific Northwest, you might be saying, yeah, it's a regular day. Cool, misty, overcast, seemingly lacking in sun. Okay. The value of personal relationships to all things is that it creates intimacy. And intimacy creates understanding. And understanding creates love. And that was said or written by Anaya Nin. That's the tarot card reading, and we're going to transition, because I'm doing these together, because then it's just one video going up. So for those of you who your interest is the Mayan calendar reading, I may need to put in these into the description where they're located at one point in the video. And the Mayan calendar reading for today is a red spectral moon. And red moon is related to the root chakra. And there's these words that I like. Karma is doing what needs to be done. So the spectral lunar tone, so it's a red spectral moon, and the spectral tone is the lunar tone, tone 11. And it's about dissolving, releasing, liberating. And the quote is, what can appear as destruction or chaos may actually be the necessary forces of liberation, evoking a release from rigid structures. As we release that which no longer serves, we can make for new understandings and opportunities to emerge. That's the lunar tone. Now, red moon is the solar tone. So, yeah, I won't even get into it. It's the solar tone. And red moon is about purifying, it's about universal water, and it's about flow. So the symbol for red moon appears like a beacon, a portal inviting us into self-remembrance of who we are in our purity. Red moon invites us in to self-remembrance of who we are in our purity. Red moon is about renewing one's being, rejuvenating, cleansing ourselves of toxins, falsehoods, distortions, and disserving energies, refining ourselves as clear vessels, restoring health and well-being, and perhaps the strongest force of purification are gratitude and forgiveness. Remembering that we are ever learning, innocent students of life. The power of universal water invites us to call upon our fluidity, adaptability, resilience, and ability to change states. Flow reminds us that change is the only constant in life. We can't control the river of life, therefore it's wise to yield to the momentum of the naturally occurring circumstances. Red Moon advocates, hydrate yourselves, bathe your bodies, cry your tears, claim your sanctity, go with the flow of your soul, and celebrate water. All right, friends, we've got our instructions. Go in there and change the world. Namaste, namasko. Now I'm leaving the written words and coming back to watching myself make a video. Just going to pause for a moment so you can just feel if any. I'm feeling that emotions have come to the surface. The emotions that rose for me partly are grief. So I'm giving myself space. And I just recommend that you do this. When you feel an emotion that you feel uncomfortable with possibly, our tendency is to begin talking. You can watch this with others who are feeling a feeling, then they should start talking. They talk themselves out of the feeling rather than just acknowledge the feeling as part of my cleansing process, as part of unfinished business from the past that's only in the past because it's unfinished. Once it's finished, once we bring it forward, acknowledge grief. Here it is, I feel this grief. I give it space and I acknowledge its presence and I accept that I feel this feeling. And once it's accepted, the flow comes again. You feel that energy moving. And maybe other things will come up after that, and then you just give them space. This has been powerful for me to make this video, and hopefully it'll be useful for you if you listen to it. Otherwise, just read the words. It's a little easier. It's not quite as necessarily evocative. Okay, let's just check on the energy of the field. So now we're shifting gears into completing the healing video and the healing process, which is a video, but we ask the interdimensional being, deep self, the highest self, and our soul ray group, all the beings and guides that we're working with, to assist all the souls that return to the event to combine with that part of the soul that had remained at the event and bring that combined soul back into the body in present time with all of its wisdom, power, clarity, compassion, curiosity, and kindness. And with love and joy, I ask all the souls to ground themselves into the healing center of the earth and open up the portal for the delivery of the new energies that we agreed to bring in at this time. And I ask that those new energies be brought in through the portal now. All the way into the healing center of the earth. And I ask that those energies be activated. And I let the universe and beyond know that this has been done and that it's good. All right, friends, I hesitate to look at how long that took. 47 minutes. All right. Well, some people make it through. I know I will, because lot went on in that video, in this video, soon to be that video. All right. Now can change. May you get what you deserve, and may you appreciate getting it.